if an agent did the boring tasks for you, like organizing a messy folder or turning one request into an interactive dashboard or learning how to do a task once so that it can do it again perfectly? That is all possible inside Claude Cowork. The basics, the 6 simple pieces of Claude Cowork. You need a folder so that Claude Cowork has something to work with. You need connectors to access external apps. You have skills, which is more like a packaged how-to of one specific task. You have a plugins, which is both connectors and skills. You have a project, which is one isolated workspace for one specific goal or a task that you have, and context, which is information about you so that Claude Cowork can become more tailored and specific to you. You do not need to know all of these 6 pieces. I'll explain everything in this video, and you can start with 2 and get the intuitive understanding as you go and as you will build. Let's start with the prereqs. You need the Claude desktop app. There's no web version, and you need a paid subscription. The cheapest one starts at 20. Once you have it downloaded, you sign in, then you click on the Claude Cowork, which is the button between the chat and a code. So once you're here in the bar, choose open a folder and then select a new folder that you will create for this video. Usually a safety rule is that try to make a backup of the files that you're going to modify and don't give access to more private, sensitive information. Then the second piece is defining the goal. This is a key piece that's going to help us make a more useful agent. We do not ask a vague or ambiguous task. Instead, we define a clear deliverable outcome, add a context, constraints, and if possible, examples of what success looks like. By doing this, agent has a clear goal deliverable that it will produce. It will make a plan, and then it will execute each one step by step. This is already an agent, but how do you make it more specific? A generic agent gives more basic results. You need to add another layer, context about you. In the settings, there is a field called Instructions for Claude. Once you open it, add more information about yourself, like where you work, your goals, your preferences, the style of collaboration you would want from Claude. Please note what you write here applies for everything, all sessions. There's clear distinction. There's global settings and then there's project settings. So for global settings, more like general information about you, your preference, your style and taste. And for project settings, add more granular details about specific projects you're working on. There's a concept called memory. Turning on the settings so that the Claude can remember key information about you across the different sessions. You can open it, read it, and edit it, and you can also in any session say, please add it to the memory. This is what I prefer. Another key piece of Claude Cowork is connectors. On its own, agent only sees the folder. In order to connect to external apps, you need to go to the customized connectors, and there's already pre-built ones like Gmail, Calendar, Notion, Slack. Toggle it on, sign in and authenticate, and now you'll have access to more tools so you can build more interesting stuff. Moving on to a skill and plugins. A skill is a saved how-to for one specific task. Think about it like this. You package all of this back and forth prompt into one specific recipe, how-to, and then if you want to get the same repeatable result, you have this skill that you can reuse. For example, you have a task, how I format a specific report. You get the desired result through back and forth conversations, and now you have a skill, which is a packaged result of this whole conversation that you can reuse anytime you would need the same task. Need a report, you can just call this skill and it's gonna be reused by the agent from your catalog. There are different ways you can find the skills. You can go to the customized skills and look through the available ones. You can get it from the external websites, which is more dangerous, so please be safe. And you can also create your skills. For creating skills, there's 2 options. You can go through the example we already did, back and forth conversation, and then package this whole conversation as the skill, or you can build it from scratch. I want to make a separate video on the skills because I think it's a very useful topic. And the next time you want to use the skill, you can do just / generate a report, and it's gonna use the skill from your catalog, or it can just infer through the reasoning. Plugins are just a shortcut. It is more like a bundle for one specific domain, and there's already available ones from Anthropic for like design, sale, product, and other ones. A folder is fine for one-off tasks, but for repeatable workflows, try to create a project where you will add more context, you will have specific skills for this project, you will have the scheduled tasks. So next, each time you're going to open a new session inside that project, you will have all of the necessary context and detail. The last piece is the clock, the scheduled workflows. Type/schedule and then define a cadence like daily, weekly, or open the scheduled page and then click create a new task and then define a task and then define the timeline. A couple thing that you can do is the morning brief how to do assistant that's gonna pull in from your Gmail, calendar, and then generate to you the priorities for your day. And the cadence can be daily. Now you know all of the key pieces of Claude Cowork. So here's how to start. Start with a folder cleanup. It's a small win. It's just working with a folder, no connectors yet. You can automating one specific task of your week, like a small one, and turn this specific repeatable thing into a skill. Then connect to Gmail, calendar, and make this morning brief assistant that's gonna run daily. So you'll understand the concept like schedule workflows, projects, and skills as well. That is the moment when it stops just being a tool and turns into an assistant on small, repeatable tasks. This is the fastest way to get good. Understand the basic concepts, then start working on small wins and then stacking them up to a more complex workflows. The one rule that can hold it together, the agent does a lot of stuff, but you're still responsible for the final output, so always stay in control. You make sure the results are good and that you're proud of them. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments what you'll try to build first.